Let's have a session on revenue evaluation. So all revenue is not created equally. You could argue there's some revenue is bad revenue and some revenue is just great revenue. Let's go through my explanation. So bad revenue would be one-time sales. One-time revenue would have of course come from one-time sales. But even better, as many of the larger big tech companies have moved towards, is recurring revenue in the form of Netflix and of course with Prime, both of which are subscription based. But that is great revenue because it just keeps on coming. Number two is diminishes in a recession. So bad revenue will diminish in a recession, possibly because you have a very high YED. You have a very high income elasticity of demand. Now, of course, if you have a recession-proof revenue, then that's a great place to be. Bad revenue, you are a price taker. You're a price taker because you probably have elastic PED, elastic price elasticity demand, maybe because you have lots of rivals in your market and you have quite a similar product. It's homogeneous in its nature. Three, price maker. You make the price. You make the price because maybe you're the only player in the market. You're a monopoly and therefore you have inelastic price elastic demand. Also, bad revenue might be from low value added situations, such as, for example, manufacturing, when they're really playing off of their economies of scale in order to create some value added. You'd rather have a situation that you have high value added. High value added, and there's a big difference between that price and those costs. And of course, many UK businesses have looked to steer away from low value added towards high value added products because they can't compete with many of these manufacturing countries, which are of course in some emerging economies. So operational objectives would tie into high value added because one of those key operational objectives is of course to have a high value added. Other types of bad revenue, no customer loyalty versus of course having customer loyalty because you've established a brand, the power of a brand. Other bad revenue could be accounts receivable. You're getting all your sales, but you don't get the cash till later. It comes as a debtor and therefore that diminishes your cash flow. And in worst case scenario, you have to use that source of finance being debt factoring in order to get those debtors paid up. So that's why that could be bad revenue, as opposed to the absolute opposite of that, which would be your customers are paying up front. They're prepaying for your goods. The greatest example, of course, for that is Starbucks, who established their gift cards. Their gift cards, they take the cash up front for all the coffees that are being spent, and some business people have joked that, well, they've taken $1 billion loan at negative interest rates because lots of people lost their gift cards, lots of people didn't fully use the coffees that they had purchased for upfront on those cards, and so really they've managed to cleverly increase the amount of revenue you've taken on or just get that negative interest rate loan. So I hope that helps on bad revenue and great revenue. See you in the next sesh.